You can start.
Okie dokie. All right, so good evening and welcome to the February 9th, 2021 Vista Consolidated Meeting. The meeting is now called to order. This meeting is being conducted utilizing teleconferencing and electronic means consistent with the State of California Executive Order N-29-20. In the event a quorum for the City Council loses electrical power or suffers an internet connection outage that is not corrected within 10 minutes, the meeting will automatically be adjourned. Items on the agenda that the council has not taken action on will be placed on a future agenda. With that, we would have a roll call by our city clerk, Kathy Valdez.
Thank you. Please state your here when I call your name. Mayor Ritter.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Green. Deputy Mayor Green.
Here.
Perfect. Councilmember Franklin.
Here.
Councilmember Contreras.
Present.
Councilmember Melendez.
Here.
All members are present. Also joining us are City Manager Patrick Johnson and City Attorney Daryl Piper. Thank you.
Okay, in accordance with the Brown Act, I'd like to announce that as a result of convening simultaneous meetings, the members of the Buena Sanitation District will receive compensation of $147.75 for the district meeting pursuant to Buena Sanitation District Ordinance 2006-1. For members of the public that are participating through Zoom, you may raise your hand to indicate you'd like to speak by clicking the raise hand feature on your screen or by pressing *9 on your phone. Instructions on how to join the meeting through Zoom are provided on the agenda cover sheet. You may only speak on an item once, and public comment is limited to 3 minutes. So with that, we will go to the approval of our agenda by our city manager, Patrick Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no changes this evening to the agenda.
Okay, this evening we have one presentation. Shannon Ayala, partner with Davis Farr LLP, the city's independent financial auditor, will provide a presentation of the city's financial year 2019-20 comprehensive annual financial report. So I'll turn it over to Shannon.
Good evening, Mayor Ritter and members of the council. I am Shannon Ayala, partner with Davis Farr. We were engaged this year to complete the annual financial audit for the city and its component units. This is the first year of our engagement. We have completed the audit for the city of Vista for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2020. The audit is completed in various phases. The first phase being our planning and interim phase. We completed that in May, and that includes documentation and understanding of internal controls, as well as testing those internal controls to ensure they're working properly to safeguard the city's assets. We also performed some preliminary testing on investments, cash disbursements, and pension transactions. The second phase of our audit, the final field work, is completed in October and November, and that's really where the bulk of the work happens. We confirm all of the cash and investments and long-term liability balances, as well as substantively test all other material asset and liability balances. In addition, we perform analytical procedures over the assets and liabilities, as well as revenues and expenses. The culmination of this process is the issuance of the comprehensive annual financial report. This report is divided into 3 sections: the introductory section, the financial section, and the statistical section. The introductory section includes the transmittal letter, the GFOA award, which the city received for excellence in financial reporting, a listing of city officials, and an organizational chart. The financial section includes the independent auditor's report. That report indicates that the city is responsible for the fair preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements in accordance with accounting standards and whether they are free from material misstatement. The MD&A is sort of the Cliff Notes version of the financial statements. It points out the highs and lows for the city and presents some summarized financial information. Then the financial statements, footnotes, and required supplementary information are also included. And the required supplementary information is information required to be reported related to pension plans, as well as the budget to actual schedules for the general fund and the special revenue funds. Lastly, the statistical section contains economic and demographic data provided to round out the financial statements. So our team of auditors spent approximately 800 hours analyzing the city's financial data, and we believe our procedures were sufficient to express an opinion. As a result of our procedures, we have issued an unmodified or clean opinion on the financial statements dated December 22nd, 2020. This is the highest level of opinion that can be received. In addition to the CAFR, we also issued the financial statements for Buena Sanitation District, the Vista Joint Powers Authority, and the Regional Solid Waste Association. Each of these agencies also received an unmodified opinion dated December 22nd, 2020. Lastly, we issued a successor agency compliance report, and I'd like to note that there were no compliance issues noted in this report. We also issued agreed upon procedures on Proposition L. Again, we did not note any exceptions to our procedures. And we issued the GAN limit letter, which is a review of the appropriations limit for the city and the expenditures subject to the appropriations limit. No exceptions were noted as a result of these procedures. Lastly, we also issue the communication to those in governance, which is also known as the SAS 114 letter. This letter is the end of audit communication, and it indicates any sensitive financial statement estimates affecting the financial statements, the significance of specific footnotes, if there were any material audit adjustments, and any immaterial audit adjustments that were not made. Lastly, it indicates if there were any disagreements or difficulties noted during the audit, and I'm happy to report that there were none. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to give my appreciation to the time and effort spent by the finance department during the audit. It was particularly challenging this year, given it was the first year of an audit. We did it during a pandemic, and there was a lot of new finance staff. However, I would like to say the finance team bent over backwards to provide us with responses to our requests. And I'm not kidding when I say hundreds of questions in a timely fashion, and they always made the audit a priority. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have on any of the financial statements or the city's CAFR.
Anybody have any questions? I don't see any, so we're happy to have a clean report. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Thank you. With that, we will move on with our clean report. And congratulations to our city for keeping good financial records. We appreciate that. We will move on to our next thing, which is our consent calendar. We have 11 items on our consent calendar. The recommendations on the following consent calendar will be enacted in one motion unless an item is removed from the calendar. Any member of the public may remove an item by using the raise hand feature or by pressing *9 now. The items removed from the consent calendar will be considered immediately following the adoption of the calendar. And so with that, we have 11 consent items, and would any of the council members want to remove an item?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilmember Franklin.
I would offer a motion to adopt the consent agenda as proposed.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
I second.
Okay, before we take a vote, I have to recuse myself from item C11 because my property is within, I think, 1,000 feet of it. I don't know how close it is, but it's not too far away. So I have to recuse myself on item C11. So with that, we will call for a roll call vote.
And actually, Mayor, I did want to mention that we do not have any residents who've asked to have an item.
Oh, I forgot to ask
as well. So,
sorry.
So we're good for a vote. So I'll go ahead
okay.
now. Please take your vote when I call your name. Councilmember Melendez.
Aye.
Councilmember Contreras.
Aye.
Councilmember Franklin.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Green.
Aye.
Mayor Ritter.
Aye.
The consent calendar passes unanimously and will show a 4-0 vote for C11 with the mayor recusing herself. Thank you.
Okay, and that takes us to actually our oral communications. This is an opportunity for the public to comment on agency-related matters that are not on the agenda. If any members of the public wish to address the City Council, they may indicate so by using the raise hand feature or pressing *9 now. So City Clerk, do we have any members of the public that wish to provide oral communications?
Yes, so far we have one, Jim Riggenbach. So Jim, go ahead, Jim.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Council. I just wanted to request an update on the city's homeless strategic plan that was adopted last March, which was almost a year ago. And part of that request, I just want to point out a few things that are in it. So there's supposed to be a task force, and I'm just curious who's on that task force, how often they meet, what their status is. There's also supposed to be a homelessness prevention program, and that application opened in August. So I'm just curious what the stats on that are. And there's supposed to be a home share coordinator. So I'm curious how many home shares that person has coordinated. There's also supposed to be a daytime outreach program. And so I'm curious what the status of that is. And the plan also calls for government and legislative advocacy. So I'm curious if anybody's done any advocacy around this topic. And there's also supposed to be a contract with Exodus for a full-time social worker, who I believe was hired in August and introduced at a meeting in October or November. So I'm just curious what how her position is going. And that's it. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Okay, being that as an agenda item, we can't talk about it today, but possibly we can update on a future council meeting that we can have an update on that. So do we have any other speakers?
No other speakers, so we'll go ahead and close the opportunity for public comment at this time.
Okay, with that, I'll ask if we have any. I do have some. Gosh, this is so short. I wasn't quite prepared, but here I have a couple of things here. So it's Love Your Heart Day is this week. Checking blood pressure is the best way to prevent heart disease or stroke. Check yours this week and then submit the results to learn what they mean. You'll receive a mask and a hand sanitizer. So you learn more at livewellsd.org for more information on that. And the Vista Library has expanded its in-person hours and is now available Tuesday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a midday closure for cleaning. So customers may enter on a first come, first serve basis. So those are my announcements for today. So I'll look to the council. I'll go down the line here. I'll start with the top row. Councilmember Franklin, I see you up there on the top row, so I'll go with you first. Any comments for the meeting today? Or
no specific comments. I share Mr. Riggenbach's interest and update on all of our homeless programs. It's been a big topic of conversation with constituents online and over the phone. I think in all of our neighborhoods, we have certainly had many conversations. In fact, I think at least more than half of our council meetings have included agenda items where we've had an opportunity to dive deeper into these issues. So we have spent quite a bit of time, and I know we're going to spend quite a bit more, and it's well deserved. It's an issue that all of our constituents throughout the city are very interested in. So thank you for that.
Okay, how about Deputy Mayor Green?
I have no comments, Madam Mayor.
Oh, okay. How about Councilmember Contreras?
Thank you. I just want to say always to staff, thank you so much to my coworkers on staff for getting all the information together, even on consent calendar items, very thorough reports. And I do want to say that I was supposed to be meeting up with my team captain to figure out when we're going to start doing our weekly trash cleanups, but COVID is still so present in our community that we have to postpone our trash pickups still. And I do want to say that I want to close out this meeting. I'm going to try not to cry here, but Rich Alderson recently passed away, and he was a great member of this community, and my prayers go out to his family. And that's pretty much all I can say right now, but I just want to thank the Aldersons so much for everything that they've done for our community here in Vista. And for those of you who don't know, Rich was a school board member for a very long time and was also a principal at Rancho Buena Vista High School. And, I actually got to meet him, when I was little and had no idea that in the future we would be, serving our community in this type of capacity as a public servant. So thank you so much, Rich, for everything that you've done for our community. And our hearts are with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Melendez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and hello, community. I know that this was a really brief meeting, but that's just in part because staff has been really effective and efficient, and these consent calendar items allow us to move business along really quickly. But there is one thing I wanted to mention to everyone. Again, we are receiving applications for citywide board and commissions. These are great opportunities to serve. So if you would like to see a full list of the vacancies, you can find that on the City of Vista website. I also posted a list on my own social media, and you can look at the full list of vacancies there. New applications are due by February 18th. So take a look at those vacancies and ask, what are my gifts? What are my skills and my experiences? And then what are the needs in my community? What are the needs in my city? And how can, my gifts meet those needs? And I am confident that there are a lot of amazing applicants who just need to put themselves out there and try something. And I really encourage everyone to apply. Look at the options that are available to you and send in an application. You can feel free to email me, kmelendez@cityofvista.com, or you can message me on my social media. So I hope everyone has a great, safe, and healthy night. And we will see you back here soon.
Thank you. City Manager Patrick Johnson, do you have something tonight?
I got a couple of things. Thank you, Mayor. Wanted to let everybody know that the city is applying for a statewide park development and community revitalization program grant. Like I said, through the state, there's two areas that we're looking at. One is in Townsite, and that is near Bonita Juarez for a small pocket park. And the other is near the courthouse off of Breeze Hill for a dog park and recreation park. And so we are interested in seeking the community's input on what they'd like to see in terms of amenities. And so we're doing several virtual and in-person meetings throughout the month of February and March, and we'd love the community's engagement. So if anybody is interested, you can learn more on the city's website, and you can also do an online survey on the city's website at cityofvista.com/new parks. So we're interested in the public's feedback. And hopefully we will be successful in our application and have 2 new parks coming to Vista in the near future. Also want to let you know that in observance of Presidents Day on Monday, which is February 15th, city offices, city facilities will be closed. However, there will not be a delay for trash service, which is often a big question that we get. And as Councilmember Franklin mentioned, and the speaker under Oral Communications, homelessness is a very big topic that is going on. And we are going to be coming before you on either April 27th or on May 11th to bring you the 6-month review, let's call it, of the homeless master plan and covering all the facets of the plan. So I wanted to give you a heads up on that. That'll be the date. There was a question posed to me regarding our shelter beds that we've contracted out for, and the city's contracted out for 10 shelter beds, 5 at La Posada and Carlsbad, 5 at New Haven in Escondido. And the quarterly report that was provided, which was basically August through November, showed that at least 5 of our beds were used for about 105 days in total. There was an issue at the facility in Escondido, and that is they had COVID issues. So the facility wasn't utilized at that time, but working with the Alliance for Regional Solutions for Homelessness, they are going to provide us an additional period of time equivalent to the time we miss going forward. So, but I can tell you 5 shelter beds were used for 106 days total during that 90-day period, if that makes sense. So anyhow, that's my update. Happy to take any questions if there are any.
Quick question on that. Do we happen to know the number? I know it changes hour by hour, but do we happen to know how many beds we have available tonight?
We do. I don't have that information for you right now, but I know that I can get that for you.
I just want to make the point because a lot of residents do ask that typically we do have shelter beds available at almost all times. And we are out asking with our social worker and our COPS deputy outreach team, and we are asking people that are homeless or experiencing homelessness in the city of Vista, we are asking them regularly if they would like to take advantage of either those shelter beds or other shelter programs that are supported by the city. And we don't always get an acceptance of that, but we do have shelter available. Most likely we have beds available tonight, and we are out actively offering those beds to people in our community every day.
And just to follow up, beds are available, I know for a fact, at both locations. I just don't know exactly the amount that that are unused tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, how about our attorney? Daryl Piper, do you have anything tonight?
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to add this evening. Thank you.
How about our city clerk, Kathy Valdez?
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I will, then we're going to adjourn, but it's a sad way to adjourn tonight. I'd like to adjourn tonight's meeting in honor of Ann Parker, who sadly passed away on January 25th. Ann was a longtime resident and volunteer who provided thousands of hours with the Vista Sheriff's Department Senior Patrol, Code Enforcement, and the Senior Center. Along with her husband, Jay, who passed away in 2019, they established a program to place American flags throughout downtown on Veterans Day and Memorial Day. And so, but a sad day to hear, Rich Alderson, I just heard about him also. And then today I got a message that Keith Griffith, the CPA, just had passed away. So it's kind of a sad night that we've lost three really important people from our, community today. So anyway, so we'll adjourn in all of their honor. And so everybody go and have a good, better rest of our evening, huh? So thank you all. Good night, everybody.